as we leave here on our destination going home, taking care of us, watching out for us, and our love to the Almighty for thinking of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please stand with me as we pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Board of Adjustments is a 9-member board. We're appointed by the City Council and we serve on a voluntary basis without any compensation. Our procedure for conducting business is I will call the name of the petitioner. If you would please come up, please speak directly into the mic at the podium, and then be prepared to answer any questions or any issues that may come up that anyone in the audience may have. You will be given an opportunity to come forward if you'd like to speak in regards to a particular item. Once we receive public testimony on that particular item, the members of the board will deliberate and we will render our decision tonight. I'll remind any members with a personal or financial interest in any item, you're required to recuse yourselves from voting. Once the testimony is submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of the agenda item, will be binding on any decision the board makes relative to the motion. I'll remind members of the board, if a motion to deny any particular item is made, a reason must be given. This time I'll introduce the members of the board that are here tonight. Ms. K.T. Brown, Vice Chairman, Mr. Nathan Williams, Ms. Jennifer Shaw, Mr. Bart Prince, Mr. Pickett Reese, Mr. George Howell Jr., and I'm John Stanley, your chairman. We have members of our staff here tonight to assist us with any questions that any of us may have. Are there any questions? Please be advised that it takes 5 votes from the board to approve a motion. So we have 7 here tonight. Okay? Any questions? Item number 1, presented by Roseman and Associates, representing Legendary Living USA, LLC, requesting a special exception for an assisted independent living community to be located on the south side of Vaughn Road, approximately 125 feet west of Deer Creek Boulevard, located in an Ag 1 zoning district. I will say that, as I just read, the board is here tonight to consider this property for a special exception for the use that's going to be presented. The board is not here to consider issues that relate to traffic, heights of buildings, landscaping, but only the use. Those items that I just mentioned will be considered and reviewed by staff, departmental staff, at a later date as the plans for that portion of the property to be developed when it comes forward. Okay? It will not be considered at the Planning Commission. It'll be reviewed and studied and approved with comments from staff. Okay? Mr. Flowers?
Good evening. Brad Flowers, Flowers and White Engineering, and here representing Legendary Living USA. And what we're requesting, as you just mentioned, is a parcel of land. If you can go to 1C real quick. All right, I believe y'all have this in your packet, but it's 18.6 acres that is lying on the east portion of the Vaughn Forest Church property. For everybody that's familiar with that, it's just east of Wind Lake, west of Deer Creek, about 225 feet plus or minus west of the entrance to Deer Creek. That 18.6 runs from Vaughn Road and goes back towards the backside of the Deer Creek neighborhood, Ashworth, right there. What we're requesting is independent, assisted, and memory care for this land use. We've worked with the architect and the developer and have come up with a conceptual site plan just so we could give everybody kind of an idea of what the thoughts are. We spent a lot of time in this, and I believe y'all have seen it in your packet, and I'll show it to you. But obviously, we're going for the land use, but we did not want to come in blind. We wanted everybody to kind of see what we're talking about. And so that's why we came up with a schematic. We've not done the engineering concept or the engineering design, so some of this obviously will change a little bit when we get down to the final crunch, but we want to kind of show you. So the way the property is designed to lay out, we'll have buffers on the back side, the south side of this as it butts up to Deer Creek. The residence is right there. The goal is to leave a 40-foot landscape buffer through there and leave all the existing trees to try to buffer that noise, anything that could be there, and also the sight lines. It's a beautiful piece of property. We've got a lot of trees, and we want to try to maintain that for the residents. But what they've done is come back through, and we've got independent living villas that kind of wrap the property as a buffer. Those are one-story villas right now that we've designed to go on the backside with front-load garages. Therefore, we don't have any lights or anything coming up against the neighbors that are there. And then once you get into the center of the property, we'll come with a larger building that'll be independent, some assisted, and in the future, the potential for memory care in that area. And then we've got some buildings on the interior as we go back towards Vaughn Road. So the major concept of that, obviously, we're trying to leave as much as we can beautification around the property. We want to be good neighbors and provide as much as we can. And so that's what we've come up with for the site plan. I'll be more than happy to take any questions.
Brad, I understand that maybe you've had a couple of meetings with neighborhoods around you.
We did. We met on April 10th with at Vaughn Forest. We put out memos and invitations to the Deer Creek HOA, as well as the Eastern Forest HOA, and we had some representation from Glenwood, so we got the entire surrounding area right there that came in, and we had some questions asked, but most of it was pertaining to when would they be available and when could we lease them. So it turned into a really good meeting. Did not have much objection at all, so we were pleased about that.
Okay. Any questions, board members?
Just one thing I wanted him to
Brown?
restate.
Yes,
Did you say the lights would not be bothering the neighbors?
We didn't get into that, but obviously with it being assisted living and independent living, you're going to want those lights down lower. So what we're anticipating is more of a residential street light. It's not going to be big floodlights. You would not want those shining into somebody's residence, obviously. So it will be low street lights that you would see in any residential neighborhood. There will not be anything that would be shining. And the way we've got the road system set up right now, Ms. Brown, I believe you can see, there are no roads whatsoever around any of the perimeter of the property. So everything will be on the interior.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion. Ms. Brown made the motion first.
Second.
Mr. Howell, you okay with a second?
I'm okay.
Ms. Brown, you okay?
Yes.
Any further discussion by the members of the board? All in favor of the item presented, please raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 2 is presented by Kyle Kaiser, representing Jean Street LLC, requesting an exception to smart code for a monument sign located at 572 South McDonough Street in a T4R smart code zoning district. Hello, Kyle.
Hello, Mr. Stanley. Good afternoon, board. We are requesting a variance on a non-compliant monument sign. In your packet, you'll see the sign in its previous condition. It was a shorter brick monument sign with a wood structure extending the second half of the height of the sign. The building there is a 2-tenant building, and the intent is for the one tenant to have their signage on the lower brick part, and then the upper tenant, which in this picture here is the bail bond tenant. In doing some recent renovations, we went and removed a portion, most of the monument sign, and rebuilt it all in brick. The intent was really just to improve it aesthetically, to make it more uniform and look better in the neighborhood. In doing that, with the smart code changes, we became non-compliant, and so we're here seeking a variance in its current condition.
Okay. Got it. So the sign is existing,
Yes.
so Mr. Cowles is asking us to approve it as it is. Any questions, board members?
As it needs to be.
Yeah, it's much better looking sign. Any questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item?
One question.
Mr. Prince?
So the sign is gonna be where the wall, where the bricks are, it's gonna be on there.
That's correct. The signage will probably mostly just be attached to the side that you see there. It's a one-way street on South McDonough heading north, so you would have probably allow the bottom half to be for one tenant and the top half for another tenant.
Is it going to be lit, Kyle?
It will not be lit.
Not lit, okay.
I moved it to grant it
Do we have anyone in the audience care to address this item?
So moved.
I'll make a motion, I have to take a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Brown makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Reese, seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Good luck.
Thank you so
Kyle.
much.
Item number 3 is presented by Scott Services, representing Montgomery Family Dental, requesting a front yard variance and a sign face area variance for an existing ID sign located at 2560 Bell Road in an O1 district.
Good afternoon. Thank you
Hello.
for having us. My name is Matt McBride. I'm here representing Scott Services Company.
I'm sorry, your name again?
Matt McBride.
Matt McBride.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Matt, thank you.
So we're looking to modify an existing monument sign at this property. It's come to our attention that after the current owner took property of it, that when the sign was built, there was not a proper variance applied for years ago when it was built. So we need to come in for the variance in order to get permission or gain permission to change the lettering on the sign.
Okay. So the front edge of the sign is basically on the front property line,
Yes, sir.
okay? And the size of the sign exceeds the ordinance of 32 feet.
Yes, sir.
By 9 feet, okay? Pretty clear? So you're really not changing or relocating the sign,
No, sir. We're just trying to change
changing the face?
the lettering on the sign. So we'll
Yeah.
just be removing the lettering, painting the sign, and then putting new lettering up.
Cleaning up the issue?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Any questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve, Mr. Reese, a second from Ms. Brown. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Item 4 is presented by Thomas and Christy Eubanks. Anyone here? Not here? Okay, we'll delay it to the next meeting, Tanya. Okay? Unless they show up. Item 5 is presented by Deborah Caldwell, representing Duchess Divas and Gents Youth Club, requesting a special exception to operate a youth center in a building located at 1124 Adams Avenue in an M1 zoning district. Hello?
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How y'all?
Good.
Good.
I'm Deborah Caldwell, and these are some of the board members of Duchess Divas and Gents Youth Club, and we're trying to see if we can transform the building at 1124 Adams Avenue to a youth facility so that we can try and save some of the youth, make a difference in some of the stuff that's going on in our community. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about the program.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
And be sure to address your hours of operation
Yes.
and any kind of, what special events you're going to be having, things like that.
My name is Angela Mangum. I am a board member, educator for 30 years, and I really believe in the vision that Mrs. Caldwell has for the building that's in question. Our goal is to service the children in the community. after-school programs. However, the building will be open from 8 to 5, and Saturdays we will be conducting field trips for the children. But our purpose is to really impact the youth in our community. We know that a lot of our children are latchkey children. They go home and there's no adult to supervise them. We also know that schools are limited in the services they can provide. So our intent is to provide support for children with homework and also to expose them to STEM, engineering, math, science, and we also want to include as an important part of our curriculum social and emotional development for children. That means that they will have regular lessons on character education that will impact their self-esteem, how they look at themselves as well as others to help them, be good citizens and function well in school, and also and hope that they will have the character to take on jobs in the future as well as to continue their education. The building that's in question would be the perfect facility because a lot of the children in the area are in need of somewhere to go after hours. We plan on collaborating with universities in the area to provide extracurricular activities as well as nonprofits to ensure that our children also have opportunities to engage in athletics such as golfing and tennis and swimming. So we believe that this program will be a great service to the community in that it will provide support for the youth and community.
Okay.
What was her name? What was her name again?
Angela Mangum, that's spelled M-A-N-G-U-M.
Thank you.
Okay. You want to talk?
Yeah, just to add
Let's let them
to,
make the presentation.
hey, I'm Dan Turner. I'm a retired firefighter here in Montgomery. I worked for the city for 21 years. And just working with the department, some of the youth that when we answered calls, just be a mentor, for some of the youth out there. Just help them and show them that no matter where you come from, you can succeed. And with Duchess, Divas, and Gents, I do believe the vision that's being put forth for this facility would offer that with mentoring, just showing young people that, you can achieve, just being that role model to show them that, you can do it, because I'm a product of that, because I had somebody to actually encourage me and believed in me. And that's all it takes for the youth of today, is to just let them know that you believe in them and encourage them and let them know that they can do better and be successful in our community.
Thank you for what y'all are doing.
Yes.
Yes, it's a good thing.
Okay, I have some questions, and I know other board members do too. Does that complete your presentation for now?
I don't have anything.
Don't have anything to add.
Okay. Your site is restricted. It's not real large.
We're starting with a small program to build to that.
Well, I know. Your activities all will occur, I guess, inside the building, correct?
Yes.
Some will occur inside. We'll have indoor activity as well as outside.
Okay. Where are you going to have outside activities? I don't see much
On the
room.
side of each, there's on each side of the building, it's like a patio area that's covered, so that they wouldn't be exposed if it was raining or something like that. It's a covered patio.
Then where are your people going to park?
And building 1100 has given us assets. You should have gotten a copy of that from the CEO of Community Action. That's a property that belongs to them. And building 1124 is on the same side as the building 1100. And 1100 has a fenced-in parking that is accommodated. It's for us.
Y'all got that, Mr. Tyson? Tanya? It's in the file. Excuse me? It's not in our file. You've got it? It's in the file. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's where your employees and others will park?
Yes, sir. And it's about one block over, right? It's on the same side. There's one building in between. It's not like a long walk.
Are you buying that, or are they just going to loan it to you or lease it to you, or?
Talking about the parking?
Yes.
It goes with the facility.
It does?
Dr. Jones is the CEO there. He actually...
Of Community Action.
Yeah, of Community Action. He actually sent a copy to Mrs. Ingram.
Okay.
And
So you're saying you are assured of that parking?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's important.
Yes, sir.
I've checked it out, I looked at it, looked at the parking, looked at the area that the children are going to be playing in, and everything came up to code.
Any other questions, board members? Any questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item?
I have one question. What's
Yes.
the building being used for now? You may have said.
Actually, it has not been used since 2016 was last past inspection, and it was an office facility that they were downsizing, so now there's just housing stuff in there, like the chairs and supplies and stuff that's an overflow of their stuff.
So your actual hours of mentoring and working with these children are from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday,
Yes, sir.
and Saturday is just for coming together
When we have
for
field trips and stuff planned,
things of
yes,
that
sir.
nature. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, again, going back to the parking issue, that's a very important part of our consideration,
Yes, sir.
to know that you've got off-site parking somewhere.
And they do have.
Because right now, we're only showing 7 parking spaces, and you're intending
It's
to
a-
use some
it's-
of that
I'm sorry.
for some of your activities, so that's important, you know. Good, very good.
Believe me, they have.
Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Prince, seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you again for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Good luck to you all.
Item 6, presented by Eddie and Marie Barnes, requesting a special exception to place a mobile home for living purposes on a parcel located at 3317 Rabbit Road in an Ag 1 zoning district. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Good evening, board. My name is Eddie Barnes. This is Marie Barnes. We're retired military, and right now we reside in Prattville. We want to put a mobile home on the property at 3317 on Rabbit Road. And what we want to do, because we retired in 2007, and I always wanted to come back to Montgomery. I see some faces I know. I always wanted to come back to Montgomery, but I've been married for 40 years, and I didn't get to be married for 40 years by now understanding I have to compromise, right? So what I have here is we have come to the point where I've convinced my other, Marie, that let's go out here and take a look at it. Our plan in the future is to build a house there, but we want to put that mobile home there so we can live there, so she can get used to being in the country. She's not been out there like me. I was a Marine, so I can live anywhere. All right. What we want to put the mobile home, we understand it has to be 50 feet from the property front, 50 feet from the property front, and we understand that. We also understand that we're going to need a septic tank. We also understand we're going to, because you don't have city water out there, potable water, so we understand that. So all those things will be taken care of, but we're just requesting to put a mobile home there. Right now, there's no electricity running to our property at all. It's just property out there, and we want to do something with it, and we prefer to get back here in Montgomery.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your service. We appreciate your service to our country. You intend to live here yourself. You're not intending to rent this to anyone.
Yes, right now we're intending to live there, but please understand, I'm still in the process of convincing my wife this is where we want to be in Montgomery.
I still want to travel.
I'm sorry. You want to what?
I still want to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's
he needs to
y'all's
buy you an
problem.
RV.
Very good.
You know.
We have an RV.
Then he can live in the mobile home, and you can take the RV and go on a trip.
Help me out now. I'm winning this battle. Help me out.
Put you in the corner.
Stop giving her ideas.
I'm a city girl.
Appreciate that.
Also, if I may say, and I know some members of the board I've met before because I work with them on volunteer programs out here, helping with this, with volunteer things out in the city here. So that's why I want to get back here, because we both were born here in the city of Montgomery, and we wanted to come back here, but I didn't get to be 40 years of marriage without understanding. All right?
You keep driving that home.
I am.
He keeps dropping that. Why does he keep dropping that?
Because I was raised in the
Mr.
city.
Senator, I think you can answer the question. There are other mobile homes, just for the record, there are more other mobile homes in this area.
Yes, yes, sir.
You know, so
It's sparse, but they are.
it's
some.
sparse, but they're there, correct? Okay. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
Second.
I have a motion from Ms. Brown to have a second from Ms. Shaw. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you
Hope you
too.
get your RV.
I already have my RV.
Item number 7, presented by LaDonna Brown, representing the Alabama School of Phlebotomy, requesting a special exception for a private school to be located at 2844 Zelda Road in a B2 district. And phlebotomy has to do with blood transfusions, is
Yes,
that correct?
it's the process of drawing blood from a vein.
Right, okay, all right. Just
My
wanna
name
make
is
sure everybody
LaDonna.
understood that.
My name is LaDonna. I have a degree in medical technology. I'm a certified medical assistant and phlebotomist. I've been drawing blood for about 14 years, and I'm requesting a special exception to open Alabama School of Phlebotomy at 2844 Zelda Road. It's a small private school.
And it's in that existing shopping center. And about how many square feet, do you recall?
It's 1,000 square feet.
So it's a small operation.
It's a small office.
Obviously, you've received approval from the owner of the shopping center?
I have.
Okay. All right. So the reason she's here, board members, is for a special exception for a private school. How many students do you normally have?
The maximum allowed is 12 students. It's a 6-week program. We're only offering classes Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 1 and Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 1. Closed on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
So no more than 12 students?
No more than 12 students per class.
Gotcha. Okay.
You said Monday and Wednesday and Tuesday and Thursday?
That is correct.
Tuesday and Thursday from 8 until 1 also?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, Mr. Howell.
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams. Any further discussion? All in favor of this item, please raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Item number 8 is presented by Tri-County Screen Enclosures, representing David White, requesting a rear yard variance for an addition to the dwelling located at 1060 Whitehall Parkway in an R85 zoning district.
Hello, I'm Charles Nelson. We're the owners of Alabama Screen Enclosures. With me is Robin Kilo. What we would like to do is build a pool enclosure. We do have a couple of pictures of what they look like. Would like to share with the board, if you mind, if we approach.
Sure. Robin.
Robin Kilo, K-E-L-O.
So this is the enclosure that we're dealing with?
Yes, sir.
Similar,
Oh, well, it'll be exactly like that, except a lot of, maybe a little bit larger as far as the length of the house.
Gotcha. But that's the basic
That's
intent.
exactly what it looked like. It'll be white where that one is white. And then it'll have the dome roof. It'll have a round roof, just like that one has a round roof.
Got it.
At this particular residence, the homeowner has made contact with the neighbors, the one that is in the rear adjacent, and the one is to the right of the dwelling looking from the street towards the house. No one has come forth of any type of objections of building this structure. The thing that we're asking for is a variance for the rear of the property is going to be within about 8 feet of the rear of the property once the structure is built. And so we need a variance. I think we're asking for 22 feet of variance.
That means you're 8 feet off the rear property line.
That is correct.
So where's the water going that's coming off
There
of
is-
this structure, because you got 8 feet to deal with?
Yes,
there?
sir. You're exactly right. This structure is built on what we call super gutter, which is right up next to the property. This house already has gutter on it. So this structure that just is in those pictures, it'll be attached to that gutter that's attached to the home. So it's still going to be draining in exactly the same manner that it's draining currently. So we're not changing any of that. This structure is a screen roof, screen walls, so the water that collects there will be no water that collects on the top, and we'll have no different runoff than what it has currently.
Well, we don't want water to be a problem with the neighbor. And you
No,
don't
and
need it. And so
I totally
our
agree.
approval is subject to you taking care of the water on your property,
Absolutely.
because it could be a greater runoff, a greater volume, and then all of a sudden you're flooding your next door neighbor.
That is exactly true. But again, if it was a hard roof or a permanent roof, then that would be a totally different conversation to have about the water. But in this case, the water is going to go through the screen roof and fall into the pool just like it normally does anyway.
Gotcha. So it's not a hard roof.
No, it is absolutely very permeable to water.
Got it. Any question, board members?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
It looks like part of your enclosure is going to be over what is dirt now. Are you going to pour concrete underneath this thing? Are you going to put more concrete on the ground or what?
No, sir, that picture doesn't really do the property justice on what you're looking at. Once we unearthed the dirt that had washed up onto the concrete, my structure is just strictly going to stay on the apron of the existing pool.
On the existing apron?
The existing apron, yes, sir. We're not adding any concrete. We're just going to go around the edge, and to be more specific, we're going to be about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in from the edge of the concrete that is currently there.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
Second.
Have a motion from Ms. Brown to approve. We have a second from Ms. Shaw.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Item 9 is presented by Keith and Vanessa Hall, requesting a side yard variance, a separation between structures variance, and a coverage variance for 2 accessory structures located at 3134 South Hall Street in R75S zoning district.
Introduce ourselves.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, I'm Justin Spivey, representing Heritage Roofing and Construction. We're requesting a variance for the side yard and the actual size of the structure that's been built at 3134 South Hall Street.
So the structure that's there has been there.
Sir?
That's an existing structure.
Well, it's an existing foundation, and we've added to the foundation, which then it has exceeded the 5-foot fence variance.
Yep, but you still got a coverage factor. So what you've done, you added the carport, or you added the structure on top of an existing slab?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we took out all the footers of the existing structure when it was down, and then we've moved the whole building over, you know, another foot from where it was existing.
But the structure's already there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'm getting at, the structure was built without the variances being approved?
This is correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. Have you had anyone object to this, or how did we find out about it? Tanya, James?
This actually came from the owners themselves when they found out it had not been properly permitted. So they shut the job down themselves.
I'm sorry, who did?
The owners.
Yeah.
They shut it down themselves. They went to get permitting.
Yeah.
The variants that were needed were seen, so the permit couldn't be issued. And now we're just trying to bring it in compliance.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I will ask if there are any objections that anyone may be able to come up here.
Well, we are
Go ahead.
trying to beautify the neighborhood with the, you know, what we're doing there. So.
Absolutely. I understand. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we approve.
Have a motion to approve. Mr. Reese?
Second.
Have a second. Oh, was that George?
Yeah.
Mr. Brent? George? Yeah. George Howell seconds. Any discussion by the board or question? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion is approved.
And
Your petition is approved.
And that's both variances, right?
Everything.
Okay.
Yes, everything
you.
that's on this agenda.
Thank you.
Okay.
Get a permit, please.
We'll do it.
Yes, get a permit.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons.
Item 10, presented by Sammy Stroh, requesting a coverage variance for an accessory structure to be located at 1539 Meriwether Circle in an R100 zoning district.
Good
Yes.
afternoon. My name is Emmy King Stroh, wife of Mr. Stroh,
Okay, glad to have you here.
and we live at 1539 Meriwether Circle, which is zoned R100, and we would like to build a garage behind our house, and according to the zoning ordinance, I think our maximum is 900 square feet for any outbuildings, so we need a variance of another 700 square feet.
Okay, so it'll be used solely for a garage.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to be enclosed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's going to be a shingled roof, and we have siding on it. It's going to be a framed-in garage.
Okay, so garage only, you're not going to conduct hobby workshop or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay,
We have
No.
we have trailers. He has a work trailer. He has a mule with a trailer, a golf cart with a trailer. Things have been stolen off his work trailer, so we're trying to get it enclosed to where it's safe and sound.
sure. No restrooms in there?
No, sir.
Okay, but electrical, of course. Okay? All right, any questions, board members? No. Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Shaw seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand.
Mr. Prince left.
Oh, he left. Okay. It's unanimous with 6 votes. Thank you. You're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 11, presented by Raymond Burt, representing Burt Steel, requesting a front yard variance for an addition to a building located at 905 North Decatur Street in an M1 zoning district. Mr. Bo Burt.
How you doing, Mr. Stanley? We have a property that's on 920 North Decatur Street, and we need a variance. The city came down, you can see it right there, the city came down there and gave us what we need to do to build our buildings and everything, and then told us that once we put all our lots together, we had all individual lots, there'd be no problem getting the variance to enclose the end of our building. Our end of our building is 60-something feet from the house, but our train runway is like 30 feet from the house, and they would not let us enclose that until we get this variance.
Okay.
The only thing down there, we own the house right there you see, we own 2 pieces of property on the other side. We own everything on this side to the next block. We own all the way to the creek in the back. We own all the property on the other side of the street from Decatur Street all the way to Ripley Street on both blocks. It's just one lone house that's sitting right there, and it's been vacated for like 15 years. And we need this variance. to,
Well, basically, all you're doing is you're bringing the front edge of the building out to the property line,
right,
which is basically in line with what's already there anyway.
that's right.
Right. Got it. Okay. Any questions, board members?
Yeah.
Ms. Shaw?
He said, in our records, it says 905 North Decatur Street.
Well,
He
all right, we
said
own both sides, all right. Our office is on 920. 905 is on the other side.
Oh, okay.
But that's still our property. We call ourselves 920 because that's where our office is. But at one time, that's what the city made us do, is we own like 917, 905, 923, and they just, on this map right here, they put them all together and made them one lot.
Okay, so it's 920 now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
But Tanya, for her purposes, she's identified this lot we're dealing with as 905 because that's what she's got in her records.
The office is across the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
So
old
it's
office
all
is
part of the same
905.
property anyway.
See, we got a little office on that side of the street, but we built our new office on the opposite side of the street. So the shop office, the office which this property is on, is 905.
Okay, all right. So it's 905, not 920.
Yeah, 905 is the side of the street the building's on.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
Okay, 905, you're correct.
Okay, thanks.
Didn't want that to be a confusion in the minutes. Any further discussion or questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve, Mr. Howell.
Second.
Second from Mr. Reese. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bo.
Appreciate it.
See you.
Y'all have a good night.
You too. Good night. Item 12, presented by Carlton Moore, requesting a height variance and a front yard variance for an existing privacy fence located at 436 Polk Street in an R60S zoning district.
Good evening, Board.
Mr. Moore.
My name is Carlton Moore. I'm the owner of BDT Towing. I moved on Polk Street in 2010. Okay, I got some new neighbors that moved next door to me. And seemed kind of odd, but when they first got there, they started washing their green garbage can in my front yard. I told them, y'all property is over here, this is mine. Okay, maybe 2-3 weeks later, my lawnmower come up missing. Okay. I come out, they didn't think I was home one day. I come outside, the dogs were barking. I had my dogs in the front yard. I come outside, they were barking like somebody was out there, then they just quit. And when I come outside, the guy next door got like a 50-pound bag of French fries. They feeding my dogs. When I come outside, he tells me, I'm your new neighbor. I hope you don't mind me feeding your dogs because I don't want them to bite me. I tell him again, y'all need to stay out my yard. So they still wouldn't stay out the yard. I went and got my land surveyed. They surveyed the land at maybe about 12 o'clock that day. About 8 o'clock that night, the next door neighbors, they pulled my marking sticks up. I called the police. Police tell them they can't touch the marking sticks. 2-3 days later, I got pictures. They roll over the marking sticks with their car. Okay, so I put the sticks back up. So that's when I went and got a privacy, said I'm gonna put a privacy fence up. So once I put the privacy fence up, the next day, these jokers throwed a brick at my daughter, tried to hit her in the head, and the reason for that is because of the fence. So I got a lot of stuff on here that I done wrote down. I got pictures of what they done did, and I'm trying to keep them out my yard. That's what I'm trying to do. So
the fence is existing?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
Move.
Have a motion to approve. To have a second.
Yes.
Mr.
Yeah,
Williams,
eventually
second.
I will, but my house paid for it.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Please raise your hand. You got it.
All right.
You get to keep your fence.
All right, thank you, boy.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good luck to you, too.
Yes, sir. Be careful. All right. I think this is our last item.
Yeah, 13.
Item 13, presented by Pilgrim Engineering, requesting a coverage variance for an accessory structure to be located at 87 Fleetwood Drive in an R65S zoning district. Mr. Pilgrim.
I'm Pep Pilgrim with Pilgrim Engineering. You remember back last year, they came for a variance to put an accessory structure on a lot without a residence, which the code doesn't allow. So, since they own both lots, we have prepared a plat to submit to make it one lot so that that portion of the code won't apply. And in this case, we're asking for a coverage variance to build the 1,500 square foot lot on the one big lot. I don't remember how many square foot's already there, but the purpose is for a woodworking shop for Mr. Smith, and he intends to work there when he retires and do some stuff now, but not really significant.
Well, the total coverage for the three structures is going to be 2,292 square feet, whereas 585 is allowed. So that means you're asking for a variance of 1,707 square feet.
Okay, I agree. And this is kind of odd because they grew up in this house. They own both lots. Some of that stuff was probably built long before we had codes in that area, back when John, you and I were kids. So some of that, the existing garage, some of that other stuff's been there a long time. So right. What we're trying to do is to build a good building that he can do his woodworking in.
Well, and this is cleaning up an issue, and this is the right thing to do, and glad we're doing this.
Yeah, I think it'll solve the problem.
Yeah. Any questions, board members?
Mr. Pilgrim, yes, I have.
Ms. Shaw, you have a question?
Once it's replatted, then there will be a permanent structure, right? Because there's a house on the other,
yes.
on
right.
the other lot.
Right, it'll just be one lot.
So it'll be one, so that there will
right.
be.
Right, and the existing house will be the structure on the future lot.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion from Ms. Brown to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Reese, second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. So moved.